Hello and happy Tuesday. We are getting on today to do another embroidery hoop project. This was one of the favorites. We did have this in a kit. It's sold out, but I wanted to bring it back for another idea because I love the embroidery hoops. They make a super easy sign. Plus, they're easy to hang. There's a lot of versatility. And I came up with a new idea of how I wanted to do it. So I thought, let's do it. I am going to be using the designs, one of the designs from this month's theme. So this month is Fruitful Servant. So I'm going to be using the Well Done, Good and Faithful Servant napkin that has the sweet little jam jar on it. So that's the one I'm going to be using for today's tutorial. And then I also have just a burlap like gift bag, and I've got a wooden round. This is one of our wooden rounds I'm going to be using. I've got a sweet little butterfly. These are getting back in the store. I have not added in that. They just came in yesterday. So this was actually from my stash, but we do have some in. They just arrived. So we still need to get them in the store, but they will be back. I'm going to just turn on my iron and my glue gun while y'all are jumping on. I've got just a little sprig here of greenery that I'm going to be using. I've already plucked some off for other projects, so this is just from my stash. I have got my plaster in, this is the Waverly chalk paint and plaster. We'll be doing that to prime the actual wood. I've got my Mod Podge. And I've got some fabric swatches for a bow. Probably going to be adding some Raffia and some Jute to this for my bow because, you know, that's how I do. And I've got my water and my paintbrushes. We will be doing the parchment paper, the iron-on method. So I've got that. And I am just going to get started. I'll get started by priming the white on my little wood round here. So we are live on YouTube and Facebook. Let me know if you're here. Let me know if there's an echo. I did not check it, but I think I have everything set though, so there shouldn't be. So we should be good there, but you never know. It has been a little bit crazy around here. We got the majority. I'm going to use a bigger one actually. We got the majority of the memberships out yesterday. So yesterday was a little bit of a crazy day. Plus, my brain was like a little off yesterday. I don't know. Do you ever have one of those days where your brain's just like, nope? That was me yesterday. I Miss Christine. I don't know if I have like the workshop week hangover or what's going on. I have like this little chunk on my paintbrush. I'm actually just going to snip it off. I was trying to like pull it off and it doesn't want to happen. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm like talked out if my brain is just at it. I don't know. You know, every once in a while, I think we all just have one of those days, right? We're in full summer swing here with all of the, no school, obviously, but we've got tutoring changes and piano class changes and everyone's got vacations we're working around, so it's been crazy. And then it rained here yesterday, which was wonderful in the morning, and then when the sun decided to come back out, it was super humid, which is not something we are used to here in the sunny state of Arizona. Hey, Miss Sandy. So that was interesting. We have, my poor husband we have the lasers in the garage, and humidity is not something we've had to deal with. And it is still it's still pretty hot here, but we do have, I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Tomorrow we have them coming to put a mini split air conditioner in the garage for my husband so that he can have some reprieve from the heat that we know is coming. We know it's just going to get hotter, so we're preparing for that. Are you all taking vacations yet? I know it's like vacation season. We've got Megan just left. What is today? Today's Wednesday. She leaves tomorrow. But yesterday was, today's Tuesday. What am I fast forwarding through the week? Yes, this is the Waverly chalk paint and plaster. And we are doing, I'm going to demonstrate an embroidery hoop project today with some burlap and embroidery hoop. This is going to be our sign surface. I have got the some fabric for the ribbon. I'll probably add some jute and some raffia. I've got a little sweet butterfly button. Again, these are coming back in the store. They arrived today. We just don't have them loaded to the store yet. So that's on my list to do when I get off here. And then I'm going to be using this month's napkin from our Fruitful Servant design. These are currently only available to members. If we have any left, they'll be available to everybody else July 1st. But this one says, well done, good and faithful servant. So I'm going to be using that one. And all I've done so far is I've just prepped my, the surface of this will be the sign. I've just covered it in the plaster real quick so that my napkin can really pop. And I'm going to hit it with the heat gun. Elaine says she's in Illinois, central Illinois, and it's always humid. And she also says, what's a vacation? Girl, you and me both. I was just having that conversation with my husband. The team has been telling me, like, we need to take some time off. We stopped taking vacations. We used to go 2 times a year to the coast. And it's the highlight of the summer. We used to go around Father's Day and then again during fall break for right when my birthday is. And then this business just started growing. And ever since it did, we have not taken any vacations, any weekends off. I barely take like a day off. I'm going to go ahead and just cut this because I only need like the front. So we're going to go ahead and just cut this down the side. Oh, actually, I think I can just cut the seam. I'm going to cut the seams off is what I'm going to do. And see if I can cut both front and back together. It's pretty thick, but so we just haven't done anything, and the team keeps telling me like, Melanie, you need to like take some time off. Well, I took Sunday off. I literally didn't do much of anything that had to do with the business. And then yesterday I was all discombobulated and I felt behind like all day because there's certain things that I do every Sunday to make sure that we're set up for success for the week, and I didn't do any of those things, and it just threw me off like all day yesterday. So all this to say, I need to take some time off. It's hard for me to take time off, but before I got on the live today, I was actually looking because it needs to happen. Because everybody needs that time to just like de-stress and like unplug, right? Desiree says she's in Vandalia. What size is the circle? Hey, Sandra. These are our circles. So they're sized to fit the napkin. So let me just check really quick. It's going to come right in those measurements as the same pretty much as the pop and swap, because the pop and swap is designed to fit our napkins. So it's like 5 point something, little over 5 inches. This is a 6-inch embroidery hoop, if that helps. Hi, Miss Patty. She's tuning in from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. That tells me, Elaine and Christine, you both need to take vacations. You're like right with me when you're like, what's a vacation? It's not supposed to be like that, ladies. All right, so for right now, what I'm going to do, so this particular burlap that I have has this, I don't know what this is, batting or something on the back. So what I'm going to do is I am going to be cutting it some more, but I want to figure out like how much I need, but I also don't want to cut like too much off. So what I try to do, because I'm frugal, is scooch whatever I'm doing all the way to like the edges so that I'm kind of have the least amount of waste. So this is kind of how we're going to be using it. Okay. And I am going to try and pull it a little tighter. And I was debating on whether I'm going to put it in this hoop or not first, because I actually want to attach it to this. I want to attach this to this before I cut it, but I'm just trying to get an idea. I was thinking about this in my head. So I think I'm going to wait and cut it, but this is kind of where we're going, ladies. So we'll put this aside because I'm going to need to attach that with a different kind of glue. So let's go ahead and get our napkin on it first, and then we'll move into that. Anywho, so the other reason we haven't taken any vacations is the dog situation. So before we had one dog, and I had a lady that we found through Bark that watched him, and the first time was amazing. The second time, but it was amazing. But when I went to pick him up, he was so mad at me. He like growled at me and wouldn't even let me take him. Well, let's put our Mod Podge on here. And so the second time he was better off dropping off, and he didn't growl at me when I picked him up. The third time we took him, he was really weird when I picked him up, and I wasn't sure what was going on. And she always sent pictures of him like throughout the week where he was like having fun and he looked like he was doing okay. The third time the pictures looked kind of weird. It's just, you could tell like he maybe wasn't doing the best. And so I was like, I don't know about that. I just kind of like side marked it, and I was like, well, maybe it was just like he was just in a weird mood or something. I don't know. The fourth and the last time that we took him, when I went to drop them off, she wasn't there, but her husband was. And when I went to drop him off, they had other dogs there, which is normal. They can watch up to like, I don't know, 4 or 6 dogs at a time. So I wasn't concerned. They were big dogs and they were all in a big kennel. And so I thought maybe he just kenneled them because he knew we were coming. I wasn't super concerned. And Pugsley was not wanting to go in there, but I also knew that he knew what was going on, like that, we were leaving on vacation. I'm just going to take this really quick. Hey, Teresa. Christine, it's not really a kit. I mean, we do have mystery kits, but this isn't an official kit. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Cruz is here from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Hi, Rachel from Hewitt. Hello, Miss Linda. So yeah, so I drop him off. I'm gonna go ahead and it's dried to the touch, so we're good. So I go to drop him off. He's not wanting to go in, and I'm kind of confused because the husband is not supposed to be the one watching the dogs. Like, she's the official pet sitter on the app. I mean, obviously he's there, and if she has to go somewhere, like, I knew he would be there. But she's like super patient and loving, and I'd never really had any interaction. I'd seen him there at the house when we dropped off before, but I'd never like interacted with him. And when I dropped him off, like, he was all like not in the best mood. And I asked like where she was, and he's like, oh, she had to run to the store or whatever. And I was like, okay. Well, the other big dogs that were in the kennels in the living room, they were barking, obviously, because we were there. And he goes to the counter and he grabs this squirt bottle and he just starts squirting them in the face. And I was like, it should have been the biggest red flag. But I'm always trying to give people the benefit of the doubt, to my fault, obviously, in this particular case. So I'm like, he can see I'm kind of like taken aback, and he's like, oh, their owners told us that's what we're supposed to do. And I was like, okay. And I didn't think about this till later, but Pugsley is the one that I was taking at the time. He had started becoming afraid of the squirt bottle, and I didn't think about this till later, because we use the squirt bottle for my son's hair in the morning to get it. Hey, Miss Tara, to do his hair in the morning, and he had been like starting to like be afraid of it, and I thought that's weird. So again, this is me I just got my parchment paper and the Mod Podge is dry, so I'm just going to go ahead and iron it down. I wasn't putting two and two together because, you know, it's the morning, we're leaving for vacation. Like, you know, I'm a mom. I'm doing all the things. But I kind of got like a bad feeling. And then I feel like a bad pet mom because I just left him anyway because I just talked myself out of it. I was like, well, you know, she just ran to the store. He's not the one watching him. I'm sure it's fine. You know, maybe, you know, you start justifying it in your head. At least I did. That, well, maybe their parents do want them to do that. You know, I don't know how people raise their dogs. And so I didn't think anything of it, but I mean, I did, but I kind of just talked myself out of it because we were literally like dropping the dogs off and then heading, like driving. And so I came home and I told my husband and he's like, well, maybe we should just go get him and like cancel everything. And I'm like, no, because I needed the time off. I feel horrible even saying this. So I was on high alert all week and like watching all of the, you know, she didn't send as many pictures that time. And I thought that was weird. So as soon as we got back, I was like, I'm going to get him. And I went and got him. And when I got him, obviously he was so excited to get out of there. But, and I usually tip her too. And when I got him, we have this vest that we use for walking. It's one of those like padded vests. It sounds like he's crazy, but it's one of those padded vests and it just has his little name on him. He has a collar and he has a leash. The vest is only supposed to be for when we take him on walks. Okay. That's it. Like if he's not on a walk, he shouldn't be in that vest. I could tell from the vest, he had been in that vest the entire week we were gone. They never took it off. And then because they hadn't taken it off, like all of the clips and the hooks and everything were all like bent and like the vest was pretty much broken by the time we got it back. And the only way that could have happened is if it was getting caught inside of a kennel. So I'm thinking that whole week we were gone, they probably had it kenneled the entire time, maybe just let him out to go to the bathroom and then stuck him back in the kennel. Mind you, that is not what we were paying for. Like it's expensive to have people watch your dogs in their house. And I was not happy at all. So, long story short to say, that is why after that was like our dog sitter. So we now have Dixie. Dixie doesn't like anybody except people that she knows that she's used to. So I haven't found another dog sitter. I am nervous about leaving my dogs now because of this whole situation. And that's pretty much why long story short, why we haven't taken any vacation. Besides the business, we have a team now that they're good on their own. Before I did not have that either. That was the other issue. But it's so hard to find good people. It's like trying to find a babysitter for your little fur babies. Like it's so hard. All right, so what I'm doing right now is I have it in here and I'm tightening it and also pulling it tight because I want all of the slack out of this so that it's nice and like we want a tight surface to put our sign on here. Paula says watching and she's driving from Kentucky to Florida on a quick business trip. I'd rather be crafting. I don't know. I'd rather be going somewhere. Paula, even if it's a business trip, that sounds delightful. Sometimes you just need, you know, to get out of the noise. All right. So I don't want to say you can bounce a penny off of it, but you want this pretty tight. Because once we get it in here, and once we cut it, we're not going to have anything to pull to make it tight. So I'm just going to keep fussing with it here for a minute. I was going to, originally, my thoughts were to just cut a nice circle so I didn't have any of this fringe out here, but I don't think you can do that without, because then I won't have anything to pull to make it tight. All right, I think I can go ahead and cut this excess off. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to try and get as close as I can to the edge of the circle. There's probably a better tool for this. I know a lot of you have way more tools than I do. I just learned about the bone thing. I can't remember what it's called. The bone thing for folding paper. I'm just call it the bone thing. This is going to be the back. You're not going to see it, but we do want it kind of tight because any extra that it has will kind of push it away from the wall a little bit if we're hanging it. So I'm just pulling and cutting. Sorry, I'm doing it where you can't see. So I do have, Megan's offered to take our dogs for us, which would be amazing. It's just, my dogs are kind of jerks when it comes to other dogs. And I don't know, like, how do you, I guess you just have them like do little meet and greets or something so they're not jerks. I don't, like, for example, when we got Dixie and brought her home, some of you were with me then. When I flew on an airport and flew on an airplane and went and got her. When we brought her home, she did not like Pugsley. I thought she was going to kill him. We had to keep them separate for like a week and keep slowly introducing them. Like, she's a jealous girl. Desiree says she has a spray bottle for her cat. All I have to do is grab the bottle and she behaves. Well, Desiree, now that's what we do, use that for Mr. Pugsley when he decides to be naughty or he has something and he won't give it to us. I just have to grab it and he gives it back. But it's probably came from those people. Like, obviously I'm just using it instead of it. But I don't know. I think there's one thing about you spraying your animals, and it's a whole other thing when someone else decides to do that. I don't know. I'm still so mad at that guy. And then I didn't even, my husband's like, you need to call Bark and get her thing removed and everything. And I was just like, but I don't know for sure, like, what happened. I just know that I think that's what happened. And I just didn't want to cause problems if, you know, I don't know the whole story. It's hard, y'all. It's hard. All right, so we're going to use our E6000 to attach this just because, and we can do some hot glue too, but, or you could do hot glue and this, but I know this will fuse it together. I'm worried if I just use the hot glue, you'll be able just to peel it right off. So I don't want that to happen. And we could have painted the hoop as well. I've done that on other, when we did the kit, we painted it red for, it was a Valentine's Day kit. All right, so I'm just going to do kind of like the, just putting toothpaste blobs on here. Now, again, this is a slower drying glue, so it will allow us to move it. So I'm going to get it as close as I can centered on the front here. And this one does make it a little bit easy because it has like this, the lines and the space here. So I'm going to do it that way, but then I'm going to like flip it over and I want to like really get this down in this fabric, the glue. So you can see through here, my glue kind of seeping through a little bit, which is fine. That lets me know it's like on the fabric really well. And this is just a burlap bag I cut up. And then we can go back this way and we should still be able to slide it a little bit if we need to, which I have it pretty good. So far, this is what we have. I'm going to put that right there. And turn my iron off. Now we can do the fun part of doing the bow. So this is a really simple project, y'all. Let me get my Raffia here. Ooh, I dropped it on my computer and it moved everything. So yeah, what do you all do with your pets when you go on vacation? I was gonna bring them and my husband's like, I need a break from the pets as well. And I was like, okay, I get it. Just because, again, we haven't had a break in a minute. Okay, so I think I'm going to do these. Now I am gonna try and pick ones. Like, if you'll notice, some of these are more bendy than the other ones. So I'm going to pick kind of, I want them to bend a little bit, but I also want to kind of control where they're bending. Because, you know, all this stuff kind of has a mind of its own sometimes. Like these two are kind of bending in the direction that I want them to bend. This one would be like too bendy. So I'm just going to stick it back on here so I don't lose it. And then this other one is like really straight. So these two bendy ones are going to be good. And I think we can go ahead and pop those down. And I'm just going to run a line of glue across here. And plop it in there. And I do want it kind of a little bit off to the side. I'll have to hold that for a moment. Hey, Miss Lisa. Yeah, so the bad news is we're gonna have to figure it out. The good news is it's time for us to get out of here for a minute. I always feel too, and I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I always have like a better, like a clearer head, like when I come back, you know? Like sometimes you just need to get out so that you can think, and then you're like, okay, you're like recharge, I guess is what I'm looking for. And then come back, because we're definitely going to have a crazy holiday season here, just like we did last year. And, you know, you just want to be in the best frame of mind for it, right? We all need to recharge our batteries. And for us, that's the beach. We need to go to us desert people need the beach. Okay, I do like how this one is laying down a little bit more flat than the other one. So to force this one down, I'm going to add a little bit more glue under here so that it lays the way I want it to lay. And I got to lift this little leaf out of the way and put her there. Basically, we're forcing it to go the direction that we want it to go. All right, so here's what we have so far. Let me get this in the right where you can see it. So cute. It's already turning out so cute. All right, I'm going to do my little button next while I'm thinking about it. So again, this is just the way I like to finish the buttons so that it just looks a little more, but you don't have to. These are cute without them. And you can't even tell because it's the butterflies. It just looks like two little spots. But it's just a fun way to give it a more complete look. So I'll just put it through there, and then we'll just tie a couple knots here in the back. And this will be the center of our bow once we get our fabric all torn. So I'll just double knot it and then cut it off. Cut off the extra. Susan says, oh, hey, Miss Susan. I didn't even see you pop on. Embellishments just amp up the projects. Yes. Beach, great place for recharge. So we like to go to the Newport Beach. It's kind of our Newport Beach in California is where we've been going for years. We started when my husband and I first met. We would go to San Diego and Huntington Beach. And then his sister rented a house in Newport Beach, and it was a big house. They had lots of rooms, so they asked us if we wanted to come with them. And so we went one year with them and then fell in love with that whole community just because everything is within walking distance. And we have our favorite pizza place and our favorite chowder place and our favorite chili place and our favorite Italian restaurant and our pizza slice place. Like, it's all, you know, we just got so used to going to that one now. It's just, that's where we like to go. But it's impossible to find places that allow you to rent pets in that area. In that exact area we like being. So, because I was all about, let's take the dogs, you know, so we don't have to worry about it. But all the things, you know. I don't know what I would do without little Miss Dixie though. She, every night, she just plops on the couch with me and just allows me to recharge because it takes a lot out of you. Doing all this, not just running the business, but there's the emotional aspect and the spiritual aspect and all of those things, it just wears on you a little bit if you don't take some time. And like I said, it's been at least 2 years. I think we've been once since COVID. We've been on vacation once since COVID. So this has been a long time. Hey, Miss Pam. No option for me. Christine, you gotta drive to the beach, girl. It's still like 5 hours for us. Like, it's not close, but it's not far, you know? I like road trips. When I grew up, I lived out in the Boontoolies. So to get to the grocery store was a 30-minute drive. Like, we have one little place at the bottom of the hill that had, I think I've shared about it, has 2 gas pumps, the mailboxes, and then like just a smattering of convenience store food. Think of like the amount of food like a CVS has. Okay, like it has that. Like if you need syrup in a pinch, they got you. If you need pancake mix in a pinch, they got you. They got a couple loaves of bread, ketchup. Like you can't go grocery shopping there. It's for like emergency stuff, and even then, like you're gonna pay. And then it had a bar. You know, the necessities in the Boontoolies. So, but if you needed like groceries, you had to go in town. Oh, I thought I was going to tear that. It's not going to want to tear, but it's a little thicker than I want. All right, we'll just put that one aside. All right, I'm just cutting off the super long tails on these. I like Scrappy, but we don't need way long tails. So I'm used to driving like 30 minutes to get anywhere. You needed to go. We didn't have a Walmart when I was growing up. We had a Payless. Well, it was a Rite Aid at the time. Then we had a Safeway. We always had a Safeway. And then a couple gas stations. When I was very young growing up, we only had a McDonald's. I remember when we got a Wendy's. And it was such a big deal in our town to have a Wendy's. And my little mind was like, oh my gosh, McDonald's is going to go out of business because now there's a Wendy's. Yeah, that didn't happen. We had a Skipper's. Do you guys have Skipper's? Oh my God. I love me some Skipper's clam strips. I'm not even going to lie. I know it's garbage seafood, but I love it. And they have good clam chowder. I think it went out of business now and it's a Chinese buffet, but there's still one, I think, around here. And I love me some Skipper's. So good. I don't know how like wide they are. Like I don't know if that's like a West Coast thing or if they have those everywhere. Probably not in places that are closer to the beach, right? Or closer to the ocean. But yeah, I always got the same thing. The clam strip basket with fries. But when we had our other pugs, I'm just making up the middle of my bow here. When we had our other pugs, when we had our very first pug, we took him to the Huntington Beach, the Huntington Dog Beach. And I'm just going to X these into here. And I'm going to go do a little raffia in between my colors. And that pug's name was Mushu. And he was a turd when we got him. Like, he was not a good dog. Kind of like Pugsley is now. And it was so crazy. He was still like in the puppy stages, but not like a puppy. So probably like an older puppy. And we took him to, oh, this needs to be bigger. Just use my whole hand instead of just my fingers here. We took him to the dog beach, the Huntington Dog Beach. I think it's the Del Mar one. And they had all these big dogs. And at that dog beach, you can let your dog out, like off leash, and just let them like run, which I can't even imagine now. Like my dog would run away, like the ones we have now. I don't know what, I guess like he was little. So we're like, oh, he'll be fine. So we let him off leash and he was a nut job and it was crazy. It was like the dog whisper or something. These other dogs like rolled him around and I don't know, they taught him how to be a dog. And we left there, and after we left there, Mushu was like the chillest, like best dog ever until we got Dixie. But just, I don't know what they said to him, but it worked. So we always keep joking we need to take Pugsley to the dog beach because he's a turd. He's really great for my son, but he's very stubborn. And he's, for a pug, he has super long legs. So he can get into all this stuff he's not supposed to get into because he's basically like a little pony. Like he can climb, he can jump, like he can get on the furniture in the backyard, like all this naughty stuff he's not supposed to do, but because he has long legs, he can do it. Yeah, so we keep joking we should take him there and chill him out, but we also want to, you know, be at the beach and do all the things, and we don't want to leave him in the hotel room the whole time we're there. So that's why we're thinking no this time. But yeah, have you ever had an experience like that where you took your dog like to the beach or around other dogs and they just, I don't, magically fixed your dog? It was crazy. Hey, Miss Pam. Christine says, I love Skippers, but they're gone now, I think. Are they completely gone everywhere? Oh my gosh. Desiree said she's never heard of Skippers. That stinks. They were good. I mean, they're like the McDonald's of seafood, but because I've even tried, like here we have, what's that other one? Long John Silver's. Not the same. I don't know. They probably used a bunch of stuff that was bad for us. That's why it was so delicious. All right, I'm gonna foof up my bow here. I'm just gonna give it a scrunch, make it really messy. Here's what the front of it looks like. Really liking it. All right, I'm just gonna pull my the tails I have here. I'm just gonna manipulate them so that they're where I want them. All right, and we have these coming down. Now, since these other ones are shorter, I'm just gonna cut those so that they're kind of the same length. And I did hear some comments in the workshop week about ladies not liking their messy bows. Like, this is the this is the only type of bow I can do with confidence because it's supposed to look messy. And my problem is my pretty bows look messy when I try to make a pretty one. So that's why I like the messy bow, because it's supposed to look like this. And there's really no wrong way to do it because it's just messy. All right, we're almost done here. We're going to plop our bow on. If you have any like super long threads that you're not liking, just trim them up, give it a little haircut. Now I am going to glue it to like right here because in the hoop, like we don't have anything to stick it to there. So I'm going to push it down just a little bit further. We still want to cover up our things here. So I'll put some glue on those and then I'm going to put just a blobby blob right there. All right, so I do want it as high as I can, but I also want to make sure it's attached to the actual sign. Wait, Culver's has good seafood? Christine, this is the information I need. We have a Culver's. They're popping up all over here. I think I've only been to Culver's once, and I didn't get the fish sandwich. I remember them advertising like fish. I think I got an actual sandwich. Don't they make like sandwiches? I'm trying to think if it's them or if I'm getting them confused with someone else, because there's another place similar like it that's like almost like it's not a buffet, but you like pick your things and then behind the window and then they give you stuff. Is that how Culver's is? Because if so, I need to go, because there's one like not far from me. I need to go check them out because I could use some good clam strips. Hey, Miss Deborah. Deborah says she's home from Bible study today. All right, we're almost done here. All right, we're going to take our little butterfly and we're just going to put it right there at the top. I probably could have done something that fit a jam jar or something better, but I just saw this butterfly and it had the similar colors and I was like, oh, that'll be cute. You don't have to finish the center of your bow. I always just feel like something's missing if I don't have like something there. I usually use a button of some sort. I have heart ones. I have, oh, you know what would have been super cute? The dang strawberry. Hold, please. I'm just seeing this and we need to do it. I think I've got an extra one in here. I'm going to paint another strawberry. All right, I did refill this kit. If you were on workshop week, I kept pulling out this bag and it didn't have the stuff in it. But this one does. So this needs a strawberry. We're going to give it a strawberry. And so do you see how I didn't like that? I just peeled it right back up and we're fine. All right, we're going to get our paint pens out for this. Let me put this back. I think I have all three right here too. Actually, I'll do a yellow this time. I think last time I did black seeds. This time we'll do the yellow seeds. So let me get a piece of paper here. I've got sheets of paper in my trash from workshop week. I don't need my outline anymore, so we can use that. But we need the paper to get our markers started. Even if you've used them before but you haven't used it in a minute, you definitely want to like give it a prep it. And then I have my little, this is the one that we painted last time. So I'm going to use that as my guide over here. I'm a visual person. I need to see something done and then I can do it. Or I can at least figure out how to do it. Christine, we don't have them in here alone yet. I'm trying to figure out which side I'm using. I can use the big side. Mainly because, like I mentioned, I'm kind of behind on everything. We really tried to get all the kits out. So that's what the priority's been, is to have all the kits ready. And I think they're doing the last of the ones that have ran through today. So everyone should be shipped by today. But the membership stuff always takes priority because we don't want you waiting. All right, so we're just do a nice coat of red. And it's okay if you go a little higher because the green is just going to come right on top of it. It'll go right over the top. All right, so we just make sure our green's not crazy. And then last time I just did you just kind of draw. Oh, this one's going to opposite direction, but it's fine. You just kind of draw like what you think the leaves are going to look like. There's really, I don't think you can mess this up, but like I get overly critical of myself. But there's really no like, because I kind of don't like that part right there, but I'll just show you how we'll fix it. Because this is the other thing that's great about these markers is you can just come over and just do another layer and fix it. Now, once the paint dries, it does like pull in a little bit, if that makes sense. Like it kind of shrinks a little bit. So the part over the red, I think I might have to do just another coat. All right, we're going to do that. I'm going to let that dry. I can still see some, oops, I just tried to put the other end on it. I can still see some of the red through it, but I'm going to come in. Again, always start your marker on it. See how I just fixed that green line? Always test your marker on a paper first to get it going. All right, and I'll try and show you. I don't know if it will focus very good on this camera, but you can kind of see in here the green will pull away from the edges a little bit, and then you can see how you can see through the red. I'll do it this way too in case it's easier to see. So we're just going to go over it with just one more coat. It's super easy. Christine says, I want them. Deborah says she wants the lemons too. Okay, I know. I'll get on it, ladies. Karen wants to know when we'll be taking orders for the Christmas ornaments. Okay, so we have had some requests since I mentioned them on the workshop week. We haven't done it this way again because last year was our first year, but we're actually looking at doing pre-orders for at least the Advent since we sold out so early last year, and I already have women that are like, I need it. I will give you money now. Will you save me one? And so I think we're going to do a pre-order for the Advent ones. And we could probably do a pre-order for the regular ornament maker ones as well. And then that way, those of you that know you want them and you want to ensure that you get them, you'll get them first. I don't know. What do you guys think? I just need to figure out when in this one I'm going to start the yellow, so you'll see how to start the pen. I just need to figure out when in what month. We're already in June. It would be sometime this month because we were launching in July. So I just need to figure out the dates that we're going to be able to do it. All right, so to start it, you're just going to give it one push. Okay, I gave it 2 pushes and it blopped out that drop. So that's why you got to be careful when you start them. All right, we're just going to do our little seeds on here. And this is the part that makes me nervous. Oh, okay, or you're going to do a big drop. And since that's what it did, we're just going to continue with that. Now it doesn't want to drop. All right, see, this is what you do, guys. When it messes up, we just go with it. The only situation with that is that's going to take a minute and a half to dry. It's going to take some time to dry. Oh my gosh. Teresa, yes, everything is different than last year. We have a limited amount from last year that we do have. I'm trying to think, like not very many. So I'm going to release the rest that we have. We don't have any Advent. Those sold out. We had that one box of the ornament maker, the Sacred Season ornament makers that came in after the season. Our manufacturer found a spare box and asked us if we wanted it, and we said yes. So we have that box, but so we just we'll release those, but the end of this month, and then July it's all new. So we have 1, 2, 3 different designs for this year. Same feel, completely different designs. Woo! Okay, I'm scared to hit this with the dryer. I'm scared to. This dryer only has one setting, and it's like super. Super high. I think if I can get it at least a little bit tacky, we can like stick it on there. It's definitely like 3D now. Alright, I think I got the edges a little bit tacky, so I'm going to try and stick it on there, and I'm not going to mess with it too much because it still needs to dry. But that's what can happen. What I did notice, the white of this one is droppy like that, so now I know the yellow one is too. So just be careful when you start them. That's what started that whole mess there. You can just keep like, if it gets like that, just really try and like get all the extra out until it's like a thin line, and it should stop doing that. But it has happened to me before. Always fun when it happens on a live. All right, we're going to go ahead and stick it in there, and then I'm just going to make sure I let this sit for a while so that it can finish drying. We'll need a little bit bigger of a blob of glue because we already ripped that other one off there. So again, it is like a 3D effect. And then I can see the green coming through a little bit on that part that I painted over. I'm not even starting the other side of that. So I'm just going to come in with the red and just touch it again. And then the green did pull back a little bit on the edge. So again, you'd probably want to do this before you put it on there, but I'm just seeing it because I'm rotated it around the other way. But that is our little cute, well done, good and faithful servant. Sweet little embroidery hoop project. Now, obviously you would like hang it up because it is meant to be a sign. I don't want to mess it with it too. I think we're okay. So that's the back. And then this is the front. So that's just another way to do an embroidery hoop sign. Again, these are embroidery hoops. This is just our round, our regular round that we sell on the website. And then again, I just added the strawberry and the bow and the little foliage there to get this cute little sign. I love it. Deborah, so if I was going to seal it, I would seal, you need to seal this first. So before I stuck it on there, I would go ahead and seal it at that point. Anything that is like, I kind of determine, especially when reselling for sealing, how much is it going to be handled? If it's something like a bookmark that's going to get a lot of touch, or like the jars that are going to get a lot of touch, I will go ahead and seal them. For the ones that are like this, like if I keep this for myself, I wouldn't seal it. But if you were reselling it, I would probably seal it. But yeah, you're going to want to seal it before you put this on, so that I would just take the disc outside, seal it, and then put everything together. I don't think you have to seal. I don't think you have to seal the little charm things as much, but yeah, for the decoupage, it would probably be a good idea. This guy I'll probably keep and put on my shelf all month because it's this month's theme. But I just want to give you another idea of what to do with the embroidery hoop. And I wanted to add the burlap as that extra texture element, kind of bring some earthiness to it. So completely different than what we did before with the embroidery hoops. I don't know. I'm trying to turn it and I don't know why. I guess to show you this way. So that's it. So this is just another idea. Now you could also use on the disc, you could also use the printable. And you could also put the printable with the sticky paper directly to the burlap with the sticky paper. So the printable is going to be this size that you have on there. So that would fit on there. You could also do this, the fruitful servant, or the fruit of the righteous. By the time this month is done, I will say this one correctly. But you could use the printables for that as well. And I actually thought about doing that, and then last minute went and changed my mind because I liked how we could get some of the little striping on here, which I thought was super cute. So that is it for today. I just wanted to show this quick little project. And what's up next? Members, you'll be getting your bonus craft night email, I think Friday. I did want to show you, I did finish the bonus craft night samples. So for bonus craft night, we're going to be doing this little guy. We're doing two. So we're doing the jam jars, and then we're also doing the know them by their fruits little hanger. And we're going to have kits for these. So as soon as I get them on the website, then I'll shoot out the email. I wanted to have sent out the email yesterday, but that didn't happen. I got all the mock-ups done. So I finished the project yesterday, and then I took the pictures, but I still got to get the kits on the site for you guys to be able to get them. So those will be in the membership group, and then you'll get them via email later this week. So if you're not a member, just what we're talking about is each month, all the members get 2 live crafting events where we do tutorials and projects just for them. And that's held in the membership group. It's part of your membership, no matter what membership you're in. And we pick a new project each month using the designs that are in this month's kit. And then the second live crafting event that we do, we'll actually do the project kit that is in the membership. So yeah, get excited about these. Deborah asking about sealing. I did seal this, so I'll show you that. I sealed it before I did the topper, but this is what I was talking about in workshop week about how you could just make these cute little jam jars. This is an Aldi's jam. In your printables, on the smaller labels, there's, I think, 2 of each. There's 2 that have mixed berries, 2 that have raspberries, and 2 that have strawberries. And so whatever the image is here is what the type of jam is. So I based them off of the Aldi's specialty jams. Those are the 3 flavors that you can get. So that's why we use these. And then you can just put this on. It's just a cute little gift to give for whatever. And we'll be doing more of these with Christmas themes because I just think this is such an inexpensive way to gift. And I'm in love with it, with the little, I had these little ladybugs, and I thought how cute would be the little ladybug crawling on it. So we'll be doing that the 3rd Thursday of this month, and then we'll be together for the membership the last Saturday of the month. So that's what y'all have coming up. I'll get pictures of this and get it on the website so you can, or get it posted so you guys can get a better view of it, and also the link to the replay if you missed the beginning. But that's it for today. Until next time, happy crafting.